Again, my name is Oscar, CenCal Credit Consultants, and shout out my brother too, Noe's Mechanics, whenever you need your car fixed.
Leeroy, Holley, Hope Rejuvenated. Like I said, man, I'm a life coach and a financial advisor. If you need a mentor, please look me up. I am on Facebook, Hope Rejuvenated. And then, of course, I'll leave my contact information in case you want to add it in the...
Yep. Also, I'm on Facebook, Oscar Ramirez, and on Instagram, I'm Credit with Oscar. Shoot me a follow.
Yeah.
Share my content if you can. I appreciate it.
Go follow these two gentlemen. This is Jerry with JKP.
And when I stepped away from that, I said, universally, my whole life, what has always been my passion, and it's been, working with people and helping people. And throughout my whole life, people have always told me, like, I should be a motivational speaker, or I should work in sales. And so that's what kind of like made me start dabbling in just understanding that God blessed me with a gift. And so I'm a man of God, and, just everything that I learned from the Bible, the Bible says your gift will make room for you. Mm-hmm. And so as I started utilizing that gift to mentor people and work with people, it became more clear to me that law wasn't where I needed to be at. Mm-hmm. Like, I got a passion for law, and, every now and again I'll entertain a little debate here and there. But as much as it's fun, it's more like, it's more like playing a game of cards. It's fun, but at some point it gets boring. Mm-hmm. So that's what led me into this journey. It took a few careers of realizing, like, that's not in alignment with what I love to do, like Oscar said. Yeah. And that's how I ended up here.
Okay. Now, Oscar, you have an LLC, correct?
Yes.
And you have a nonprofit?
No, mine's LLC now.
Okay, but it was a nonprofit?
Yeah, okay.
And LLC, okay. Yeah. I remember we was at the wedding, and you was mentioning, like, turn your LLC to the S corp for the save money on taxes. Like, do you plan on changing your LLC to an S corp, or you want to keep it an LLC?
I have to reach a certain goal, but once I reach that goal, I am gonna switch it up, because in the long run,
6 figures.
Yeah. Well,
if you're so before you go to S corp, my recommendation is that if you are profit after bills are paid, 60 grand. Okay. So once you go over 60 grand after bills are paid, you from a tax perspective, you definitely want to incorporate. You could do it earlier, but you just get the most benefit if you're over that threshold.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so that's like I said, my mentor.
Yeah.
So I'm listening and I'm trying to follow the game. I'm trying to do it.
See, I was at the wedding taking pictures, and I'm listening to him talking. I'm like, I had no idea. Like, I'm like, man, let me soak his little brain a little bit, So I was like, man, that's deep. Yeah. So.
He's definitely that guy. You could be a random stranger on the street. If he hears you talking about some business, he's gonna get in there and he's gonna teach you a little something. I promise you that.
I was like, look, man, I'm just soaking it all in.
Yeah.
Right.
So what can you remove from your credit agency? Can you do student loans, collections, charge-off, late payments, repos, medical bills, bankruptcies? What?
Literally all the above.
Okay.
We even do judgments, so lien sales, we can take lien sales off, bankruptcies, literally all the above. Late payments, we can remove them and update them to positive, so we can literally do it all, A through Z.
Okay. Now, is it do you have a staff, or is it just mainly you taking?
Well, there is I'm part of a franchise, so there is a few other people, but it's just me that does mine, and they have their own clients, stuff like that.
Okay. And what about for your LLC now? I see that you do a lot of stuff in the community for the youth and the kids with community programs. My bad.
No, you good.
So I see you like to uplift, inspire, and empower. To give the youth, to go for their dreams and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So tell me can you tell me a little bit about what you have coming up in the future?
Yeah. Before I answer that, I just want to drop this one gem. I'm gonna throw Oscar alley-oop. Credit repair is more than just removing negative inquiries. It's also about having a clean credit profile. So another thing that they do is old addresses that are no longer yours, people you're associated with, employers, phone numbers, they clean all that up. Yeah. And because if you eliminate everything off of your credit, but yet you still have 30 addresses reporting to your social, when a bank pulls that information, they see that. And so the more stable you look, the better it is from a financial standpoint.
Yeah, I noticed when I was doing my credit report, they was attaching me to people I don't even know.
Yeah.
Like that's
if
crazy.
Like if they show that, like, let's say you went to school with somebody and then y'all lived in the same apartment complex, that's an attachment because y'all had the same school and the same address.
Now, how would that report negative if you're attached to them, though?
It doesn't necessarily report negative because you're attached to them, but it does come off as a not clean profile because I want you to think about it like this. In a relationship, we want to get with someone who's loyal, someone who's going to be there for the long term, and someone who's not bouncing around. So the more phone numbers I see, it shows instability. The more addresses I see, it shows instability. So it's never really what's on your credit. It's what does it say. And so that's why it's important that they clean the profile and remove. So a lot of times you'll see stuff disputed on your credit, and it's not a negative inquiry, it's an address. And you're like, why are you disputing that? Well, because you don't live there no more, right? So that's just a little,
And even like some people sometimes applied for stuff with a different name or a different middle name or shorten their name. We remove that as well because, like you said, it doesn't show stability. And when they want a loan, when you're looking to get a loan, they want to see a stable job and stability in where you're living as well. Like that, they know that you're a stable person and they can trust you with the money pretty much.
And I'm going to just drop this. If you a junior or a third or anything like that, immediately start telling your family, fill your name out the whole name. Because I know I'm a junior, my son's a third, but I got pulled over one time and I won't even tell that story. Let me tell you the worst story.
I got a story after this. Go ahead.
Look, so I applied to work for CDCR because this was when I wasn't for sure if I wanted to be a speaker. I was still trying to dabble in law. So I was going to work in the prisons. I got all the way up to the captain's interview and the captain was like, I'm sorry, I can't let you through. And I was like, why? Like I passed everything, my background, I've never been to jail. Like, what's up? And he was like, well, you got a ticket for evading police in 1992. I was like, sir, I was born in 89. And he was like, it's on your record, so I can't do nothing about it. And so I got denied the job. Now, granted, I honestly believe God just that wasn't where God wanted me.
Yeah.
But it's just to show you guys that you get like, so now when I do anything legal, I fill my whole name out, including Junior. And I sign my whole name, including Junior. And I'm going to tell my son to do the same because it just allows for that separation.
Yeah, he's a third?
Yeah, he's a third.
All right, I got a story similar to your situation. So I got a call from, I don't know, it was random, I don't know, collection agency or whatever it was. So they was like, hey, Mr. Kelly, just want to let you know that I see you had purchased a car back in 1994, and something happened where the bill, something they didn't pay for, whatever. I'm like, well, that's kind of weird because I'm born in 90, so if I brought a car at 4, that's kind of strange. I'm a junior.
Yeah.
So maybe my dad did some stuff, username, I don't know. I'm 4 years old. He had to do what he had to do, but how you going to put this on me? And I was 4.
Exactly.
How do I buy a car at 4? So that was kind of funny, though.
Yeah, so, that's why I always tell people, like, they think credit repair is so simple, they want to do it on their own. To each his own, but I recommend hiring professionals. That's what they're here for. I do want to get back to your question as far as upcoming events and, being out in the community. We do have another event coming up on October 21st. That's going to be Get on Fire Part 2. Okay. So if you were at the event on the 18th, this is going to be Part 2. If you missed out on the event on the 18th, this is your opportunity to come soak up game. It's completely free, but there are limited spots because we do provide food and refreshments. So we need a head count. So we will open up registration probably within the next couple of weeks. Be mindful of our social medias. Oscar Ramirez on Facebook, Hope Rejuvenated on Facebook. Please like, follow, share our content. It's the least you can do.
Who's hosting these events again?
So for the Get on Fire, we partner with Legacy Business Hub. And so they have like a Hope and according to the flyer, it's through Hope and Vision View that are the sponsorships.
Okay.
And then we're just keynote speakers. Now, Oscar and we have an event that is going to be thrown 100% through us. And it's going to be November 4th. And we'll have information for that coming soon. But you're going to see a lot of us between now and from here moving forward, because financial literacy is something that Fresno doesn't like. You don't learn this in school. You don't learn it in college. You can take a business class and they teach you about business, but they don't teach you the language that money speaks.
Why they don't teach us about financial literacy in high school? Why they don't teach us about credit in high school? Why do we have to learn about it afterwards when we get to college and we trying to, we get a little bit older in life and we start learning about these different things that we should have been learned?
I'm not one to be into conspiracies, but I just honestly believe that the world was designed to create workers.
Yeah.
So if I teach you the language of money, you no longer want to work for me, and if you don't work for me, then what? Right?
You get that knowledge.
Yeah.
You get that knowledge, and you're like, well, I don't need to work this job. I can be my own boss.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Because if you literally think about it, what we're teaching you, like, let's say, and this is for anybody who comes from humble beginnings, if you are not rich and you are not changing your family and generations after you, I want you to hear me loud and clear. You can change that in 2 years. A year, really. If you apply the stuff that we're teaching you, you could change your whole life in a year. And then everybody that comes from you after never has to experience humble beginnings. However, just because we teach you the game, just because you apply the game, does not mean it'll break generational curses. It's on you to reteach that to your generations after you. So, we want to cultivate an atmosphere where it's all about learning. And, Oscar has this phrase, which I'll let him touch on. I don't just want to help you. I want to give you continued education. And I support that 100%. And I live by it, not even knowing that I lived by it. Because at the end of the day, just because I give you the game, the economy changes, money changes, finances changes, the feds change interest rates all the time. So what I might leverage today may not be profitable in 5 years. So maybe I got to switch the game and leverage something else later. So, that's my take on it. I'll let Oscar give you some.
So on the continued education, I always tell my clients, right, like, it's not just you're going to pay me and I'm going to, make your credit look right. That's not the point. I want to be able to help you get approved for loans, get approved for cards. Even if I tell my clients, if you're interested in starting a business, let me know. You can slide the idea by me, and if I don't know too much about that area, I have somebody that does.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get you to the right people so that even though you're done with my program, you still have my number. I still help you out, and I still want to help you out. So I'll be like, hey, you know what? I'm kind of been looking into getting a home. What do you think? What do you suggest? And the good part about it, with the On Fire program that we're running right now, we actually have a lender. We have somebody that does mortgage. So we have all of that. So I have those connections where I can, hey, look, I don't deal with that personally, but I got the perfect person for you. And we all going to take care of you. We all work as a team, and we're going to make sure we get you right. So it's not just, like I said, not a one-stop shop. You're not just going to come and get your credit repaired. Whatever questions you have that has to do with credit, or even during the process, like I do tell my clients, don't apply for nothing without asking me first. If you're not ready, I'm going to tell you you're not ready. And now that I know that you're trying to do this, I'll let you know when you're ready.
Yeah.
How many clients you have that apply anyway?
Plenty. Not everybody listens, but it's part of the game, and I still show them. I let them know, hey, moving forward, don't do it again, because now you just backtracked a little bit, but we're gonna get you where you need to be.
Yeah. So as far as credit, because I know you gotta, when you disputing stuff, 30 days you have to wait for the credit bureaus to respond back. Like, is it a month-to-month thing, or is it like one payment as far as services?
Normally, I do a one payment. That's it. But with certain people, I have, done payment plans. I do have that option. We could do a contract for, we agree on payments. The program doesn't last long though. So it is about 3 to 6 months and you'll be done with the program. So normally when I do payment plans, I try to do it to get paid within the 3 months.
Yeah.
Like that, there's no issues moving forward, but
Smart.
I have both options. I try to take care of people. I understand, some people don't have all the money to cough up. Growing up, I grew up from humble beginnings as well. My mom grew up working in the fields, single mom. And I grew up, believe it or not, when I was 13 years old, I started working in the fields. If I wasn't in school, I wanted Nikes, I wanted Jordans. Like, I needed to go work for it. And it wasn't that my mom forced me to. It was just like, I knew where my mom came from. I knew she didn't have it like that. So me taking it upon myself to help her out, you know what? I'll go work. I'll go work for myself. If my mom could do it at her age, I could do it too. And I can take a little bit of stress off her because, of course, while I was doing that, even at 13, I know my mom had bills. I was, giving a little bit of my check. Hey, look, pay a bill, rent, whatever you need to pay.
Now, were you the only child, or you had
siblings? I'm the youngest.
The youngest, okay.
I was the last one out. So I do have 3 older siblings. I have 2 brothers and a sister, but I was the youngest. I was the last one in the house.
So are they entrepreneurs, or they work?
So one of them is an entrepreneur. He has his own mechanic shop. Okay. The other one's a mechanic. He's kind of like a mobile mechanic, so he's an entrepreneur too. Mm-hmm. And then my sister, she's been working like aggregation, selling like the companies that sell AgriValley. I don't know if you heard of it. So she's a worker, but for the most part, yeah.
Shameless plug. If you need your car fixed, please go see Noe Ramirez.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out my brother. Yeah. It's Noe's Mechanics. It's on Abbey. If you need the number, you can contact me. I'll get you there.
Yeah. Right after Carl's Jr.
Right.
Shout out the family, man. You got to put the family on.
Yeah, you got to put them on.
Only child?
I don't, man. Look, my family, they crazy. I'm shouting out Noe. I got you, my dog. But I got a question for you.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
All right. So, and this is what I mean by, we put, on that event, we had some very thought-provoking things. So if I told you that you could take $20,000, well, backpedal. Do you remember what it was like when you were in college?
Oh, I remember.
Okay.
Yeah, vividly.
And I remember you said that you had to earn a scholarship. Yeah. So at first, that was out of pocket, right? Mm-hmm. To some degree.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What was life like? What was your extracurriculars? What did your meals look like? How did that feel?
Ooh. Meals is noodles. It was basic microwave food. Well, I couldn't cook, so I couldn't really. He said, I couldn't really make myself nothing. But it was rough, man.
It was hard, right?
Yeah.
So, what if I told you that I can give you a play that it's gonna cost you, but your kids will never go through that whether they have a scholarship or not?
Sign me up.
Sign me up, right? So how many kids you got?
I got 4.
You got 4. How soon will the first one be going to college?
Ooh, so let's see. 6 years.
6 years. So in 6 years, you got 4 kids. In 6 years, I think you could run this play 4 times if you do it right.
Man.
However, time them based upon when the kids will go to college. Mm-hmm. So now here's what I want you to think about. The Bible says that a great man will leave behind an inheritance. So if your credit ain't right, which I ain't saying it is or it isn't, but if your credit ain't right, Oscar's going to get the credit right. Mm-hmm. Then that's going to take 3 to 6 months. So in 3 to 6 months, Oscar's got your credit right. So now that your credit is right, do you own a home or are you renting?
No, apartment.
Your apartment, yeah. Okay. So your first home, you could qualify for FHA. But see, what people don't tell you is that FHA could be a multifamily. So what that means is you can buy a 4-plex and be owner operated or a live-in FHA multifamily. So now you can run this play for your kids, get your credit right? Do an FHA for you.
Yeah.
But what you do is for the next 6 years that your credit is right, start getting credit cards. Put your kids as authorized users on them. So now you're building their credit. So by the time they hit 18 and they're getting ready to go to college, let's say that they get a full ride scholarship, right? So now school's paid for.
Yeah.
But a full ride scholarship covers school. You still got car, you still got insurance, you still got food, you got extracurriculars, you're trying to enjoy your life. So when you got your scholarship, other than the fact that school was paid for, did the type of food you eat change?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So now you got more free space. But now juggling school and football, did you still have to work?
No.
So now in your mindset, you're free. Right?
Yeah.
But let's say your kids don't get the athletic scholarship.
They ain't free, yeah.
They ain't free, right?
Yep.
So here's what you do. As you build in their credit, you got Oscar's taking care of credit. You're putting them on as authorized users. You're getting these high balances. By the time they hit 18, you have them go buy a property. An FHA, owner-occupied 4-plex. Because now you gave them good credit. You gave them the play on the fourplex. God forbid if something were to happen to you, your kid will never need to worry about where they're going to live, and they will never need to worry about how they're going to make money. So now your kid just bought an FHA fourplex. Now, where should they buy this fourplex at? And my recommendation is right next to their college. Now, the reason being is because who's going to rent these rooms out? Your college students, right? Because when you get a scholarship, you living on the dorms, but at some point, you don't want to be in the dorms no more. You want to, you want your spot off campus.
Yep.
So now these college students that are getting scholarships and financial aid and things like that, they're going to be able to pay this rent for you.
Because the money's there.
And you can rent it out by room because most college living is that way anyway, which will capitalize your money even more. So now your kid can go to school, have a place to live, have plenty of income, and if they have a full ride scholarship, school's completely paid for, so your kid can 100% focus on their education. That's game. This is how I drop the mic right here.
That's game right there, man.
Yeah, don't get no better than that. Actually, I have a 14-year-old right now. She's a freshman at Bullard.
Okay.
And look, I know you love to read. I need you to start reading financial literacy books, credit books. I want to put her on game because I'm trying to do the same thing he's talking about. By the time you're 18, you want to go to college. I want to.
So, what time should you start putting your cars and your kids on your credit cards? Is it 16 or
14? At 14, you can start.
14, yeah.
So, if you have good credit and you got a 14-year-old, throw them on there, do them that favor, throw them the alley-oop because
18, they'd be good.
by the time when they're 18, they're going to be set. And if you teach them financial literacy when they're young in high school,
they won't fumble it.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the goal.
So, do you guys want your kids starting a business, or you want them to work a 9 to 5 to see how it is, or how do you guys?
For that, I'm actually my 14-year-old daughter. I'm trying to start a business for her because she could bake.
Yeah.
And she loves to bake. So I was like, you know what? I'm trying to teach you all this. Let me start your little business. Let me start selling this.
Let me give you a shameless plug real quick for his daughter's baking. Anytime I hit the grocery store, I'm buying something for her to bake. Like, she on point.
I feel like kids can sell more than adults as far as a business.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah,
got
you
families, cousins, aunties, grandmas,
And then they cute. They haven't had a chance to annoy anybody other than their parents. So, yeah, kids for sure.
Yeah.
I will say, to answer your question, and I don't mean to cut you off, Oscar, I'll let you go back. Because of the way I'm raising my daughter, like I've had her read Atomic Habits, 12-Week Year, Unbreakable, the Will Smith, 10X. Like I've had her read all of this. And she's also a freshman at high school. She's 15. Her birthday's in November, so she started school late, and I let her know, like, you already going to be the oldest person in your class. So you technically could be driving as a sophomore. I need to know that you're responsible. And so just in the way I'm teaching her and the game that I'm giving her, I would never tell her what to do with her life. Like I let her pick her high school, I let her pick her middle school. Like I want her to understand that these decisions are decisions she's got to live with. And if she's unhappy with it, it's because she made the decision.
Yeah.
And dad didn't force it on her, or dad didn't, rob her of going here when she really wanted to go here. So because of that teaching, anytime I talk to her about becoming, what she wants to do with her future, she never wants to be 9 to 5. Like I think the closest I've heard her say was an attorney, but even her being an attorney, she wanted to open up her own practice. So she's still an entrepreneur. So I think when you empower these kids, don't limit them. Like give them all the game. And when you empower them that way, there's something in learning this information that makes you despise wanting to work a 9 to 5.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing, to be honest. My daughter, I've asked her, like, hey, look, what do you want to do? Her thing, she's always liked that. Actually, since she was younger, she wants to be in, like, fashion design. So she's already looked at schools, stuff like that. But she wants to have her own business. She's like, I don't want to work at a McDonald's. I don't want to, which isn't a bad thing. Don't get me wrong. If you work there, it teaches you something. Like me, like I said, I grew up 13 years old working in the middle of the sun in the fields. That taught me a lot. That taught me that money don't grow on trees. You got to earn it. You know what I mean? So, like I said, same way I try to make her take her own decisions. Because when you're an adult, at the end of the day, whatever you do, the consequences are on you, not nobody else. So if I'm teaching you this at a young age, you're going to make better decisions by the time you're grown. You get what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to give her the game that I didn't get when I was younger. Mm-hmm. So she's not struggling the way I struggled.
Keeping it a buck, my daughter, she doesn't really like us having these conversations and things like that. She's like, Dad, I don't need to worry about that yet. So I took her to the event this past weekend, and she's sitting there watching 40, 50, 60, 70-year-olds like eating it up, talking about, you know, I'm gonna pay for you to come talk to my whole family. We don't get this, and you know, growing up in the 70s, this wasn't taught, and you know, and so I asked her when we left. We got a thing after church or after any big event. We do biggest takeaways, and so I asked her. I said, Azariah, what was your biggest takeaway from being at the event today? And she was like, I'm a lot more receptive to you teaching me this stuff, Dad. Like I don't want to be that age barely figuring it out.
Yep.
And for me, she told me, this is her exact words. She said, I take it for granted because I know that you're always here to give me the game. But what I learned today is that if I don't start applying it now, that could be me. And that's no shot at anybody that didn't get the game, man. We're all there. You know, like I've worked at Panda before. You know, I've worked in car sales, like, you know, everything. And just at the end of the day, you got to know that just because your life didn't start with this, you can change right now.
Yeah, generational curse. Yeah. It's make that leap, you know.
Yeah.
So I've been an entrepreneur a long time, and I worked at Subway. You said Panda, so I know the grind.
Yeah.
I worked at Chick-fil-A. Shout out Chick-fil-A. I ain't gonna lie, I love it to this day.
Chick-fil-A, he's gonna send you an invoice though, because he gave you a shameless plug.
Oh, that's good, man. I appreciate you guys. I just wanted to make it short. You know, I appreciate you guys coming on the podcast. Go ahead and shout out your business again, your name in front of the camera.
Again, my name is Oscar, CenCal Credit Consultants, and shout out my brother too, Noe's Mechanics, whenever you need your car fixed.
Leeroy, Holley, Hope Rejuvenated. Like I said, man, I'm a life coach and a financial advisor. If you need a mentor, please look me up. I am on Facebook, Hope Rejuvenated. And then, of course, you know, I'll leave my contact information in case you want to add it in the...
Also, I'm on Facebook, Oscar Ramirez, and on Instagram, I'm Credit with Oscar. Shoot me a follow.
Yeah.
Share my content if you can. I appreciate it.
Go follow these two gentlemen. You know, this is Jerry with JKP. See y'all next time.
Peace.